Welcome to the Red VTV show, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2026 season. It is 17 days to go before the start of the new campaign, and it can only mean one thing, Kevin.
It's our number 17. It is George Whitby.
I am a little bit concerned for George. I know he's been promoted into the 17 shirt, but with the signing of Jackson Hastings has not arrived at this club to play second fiddle. He's been brought in by Paul Rowley to be his starting scrum half.
Can Jackson Hastings not play alongside George Whitby?
I don't think Tristan Saylor is getting left out either.
Okay. So
And
is
if
it a
you're if
lot?
you're if you're trying to get onto a bit of a roll and you're playing well, and it's their shit to lose, how does George Whitby get his opportunity?
Yeah, is it a long-term worry for George that you've got?
I just feel it's another year of missing Super League experience, unless we find some sort of deal where he goes out on loan to a Super League club. Is he get is going back to the likes of Halifax, no disrespect, and playing in the Championship beneficial for his development? Now,
There are probably benefits to it, but you think he's got to take that next step, hasn't he? For me, he's got to take that next step. And I know Saints fans are desperate to see this lad play in the first team, and I think we all are. I think we all want to see him kind of get in there and do his bit, like do his bit, and show us what he can bring to Saints. Again, I'm going to go back again. I feel like clip this as well. What I said about Owen Dagnall, that this lad needs time to be able to fill out and to be able to learn and to be able to progress. And hopefully, Jackson Hastings coming in gives him someone to learn off in a proper dominating, kicking, everything like that, organising seven. And that's no offence to Johnny Lomax, I'll name Johnny, who's been wearing seven for this season and last season, but it gives him someone to kind of go to and learn off. So if Jackson Hastings is missing and George Whitby is the choice to go in at seven, which I'd imagine he would be, I feel like he may well move ahead of Johnny Lomax in that role. Um, then he can have learnt from Jackson. He can have taken everything on from him. I just don't see George necessarily playing double figures of games for us this year if everybody's fit.
yeah, that's the concern. He made 11 appearances in 2025. I think he's going to struggle to get that many. That said, yes, he's going to have an excellent mentor in Jackson Hastings, previous Man of Steel, played here and in the NRL. He's going to be able to learn so much from him as a mentor, but I don't see him being able to oust Jackson Hastings out of this team. The one thing I noticed about Jackson Hastings yesterday is like how big he is physically as well for a halfback. He's solid. And it's something haven't really had in recent years because we've obviously gone through, obviously seen a lot of George Whitby, we've seen Lewis Dodd. Um, yeah, it was like a night and day difference. What I will say is I'd like to see George Whitby how he plays behind an actual pack and a forward line who are giving us that go forward because I feel at times have we been able to see what George Whitby can do when he's been quite often being played behind an injury-ridden team and a beaten pack.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good point where his kicking game has had to be long, clearing kicks trying to get us downfield rather than seeing what he can do if he's in the opposition kind of 30 and be able to engineer something or try and engineer something for us. Um, George is, and this sounds terrible, but an absolute loss of form or an injury, a couple of injuries, is George's best bet, I think, this year. I hate saying it because I want the lads' talent to be on show. I'm going to caveat that with Saints fans need to temper how much time you are going to give a lad who is very obviously still going to fill out and still going to grow and become more mature as a rugby player. You've got to give him that time. You can't just expect to see George Whitby thrown into the halves for a full season. It needs to be that kind of gradual drop in, come back out again, make sure you're looking after him. Because the last thing we want to do is end up with someone who, Lewis Dodd, I mean, he's gone to Australia and come back to Catalan. Listen, is it through any fault of his own or was it the injury that he suffered? You know, Danny Richardson, who's ended up now at York after flitting through a couple of clubs. You don't want him kind of burning bright and everybody going, oh my God, he's the next big thing. And then a couple of years down the line going, that lad's rubbish. Why have we thrown him in? And it being because we've thrown him in far too early.
Yes. Okay. That is our number 17, George Whitby. We will be back tomorrow with another player preview. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you very soon for another episode of Red V.